Hello to all of the wonderful members of our Jewish Center of Teaneck community. It's Erev Shabbos, Parshas Beshalach, Shabbos Shira, and I wanted to share a message of deep gratitude based on the concluding episode of this week's Parsha. We know that the Jewish people are senselessly attacked by Amalek. Amalek was not being threatened by the Jewish people. There was no reason for them to do it, and yet they came and they attacked us. But not only did they attack us, as the Torah records in this week's Parsha, Vayavo Amalek vayilachem im Yisrael b'refidim, but even more insidiously, even more ruthlessly, Amalek came and attacked the most vulnerable members of the Jewish people. The Torah tells us in Sefer Dvarim, in Parshas Kiseitze, Vayizanev b'cha kol hanechashalim acharecha ve'ata ayef v'yageya. It's true, the entire Jewish people were tired, they were weary, they were fatigued. It's true of everybody. But in particular, Amalek attacked those who were most vulnerable, those who were straggling behind, those who perhaps were having more difficulty keeping up with the rest of the Jewish people. And so our battle against Amalek is always a referendum on how we take care of those who perhaps are most vulnerable within our community. And we all know how difficult this year has been for all of us in different ways, but especially for those who perhaps are alone, for those who perhaps are older and therefore at greater risk, and especially with the advent of the vaccines, and thank God for all of those who have worked so hard, the scientists and the physicians and the public officials who have brought vaccines to our community. But we know that it's been challenging, especially for our older community members to be able to access these vaccines due to the technological nature of the logistics of delivery. And so it's in that spirit, and really in light of this week's parsha, the great mitzvah of always combating not just Amalek, the nation, but the pathology of Amalek, of deliberately attacking those who are most vulnerable. We know that what it means to be a member of Klal Yisrael, of the Jewish people, is to have special attention and special consideration for those who may be more vulnerable. And so with the deepest sense of gratitude to the volunteers who spent so much time over the last 2 weeks making sure that first in our immediate shul community, but in the broader community, we've gotten so many emails from people in Teaneck and outside of Teaneck who have had such difficulty registering for vaccination, even though they qualify according to the government standards. I want to thank first and foremost Jill Solomon, who has chaired this wonderful committee. Of course, Jill is a second-generation member of the Jewish Center, growing up, the daughter of Mark and Peppy Schlesinger, who we think of so often, even though they're just at a little bit of a distance away in Fort Lee. And Jill has done so much, putting together such an exceptional, dedicated, selfless committee. And I want to thank each and every one of them by name, to Abby Beer and Danny Beer, to Reuven Elberger, to Cindy Feigenblum, Benzi Jaffe, Michelle Jaffe, Ariella Kramars, Shelley Lefkowitz, Michael Rosner, and of course Jill's husband, Dov Solomon. Each and every one of these people has ensured that people who deserve the vaccine, who need the vaccine, have been able to get the vaccine. They've done it for people who they don't necessarily know, people that I might not even necessarily know, but have reached out because they heard from a friend who heard from a friend that this service was available thanks to the remarkable kindness and generosity of spirit of these wonderful volunteers who I just named. And this is, in the truest sense, a fulfillment of our ongoing battle against Amalek. Amalek singled out the weak and the vulnerable. Amalek deliberately attacked those who were left behind and those who fell through the cracks. And when we see people who take time from their very busy and hectic schedules, and these are all very busy people, and we see people who are concerned at a time when it would be so easy to understand perhaps why people think only of themselves, but people who are concerned for others, and especially concerned for those who are more vulnerable, perhaps, than they are. It is a deep source of inspiration, and we and I are deeply indebted to them for everything that they have done. And so, with a profound sense of Hakaras Hatov on this Parshas Beshalach Shabbos Shira, we sing to Hashem our debt of gratitude for His bringing us out of Egypt and redeeming us. We have to continue to remember that the song carries on. The tune must continue. And our song of Hallel Vehodah, our song of thanksgiving and praise, extends to those who do the remarkable work that we see going on all around us. Some people wonder, how could we possibly be optimistic in times that are so bleak? And I think part of the answer is because of the wonderful people all around us. Good Shabbos.